listening to the Operation Self Reset podcast. What is going on, Resetters? Welcome back to Operation Self Reset, the one and only place to transform your life from the person you are right now to that person you strive, crave, and want to become. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode. I truly have a special story that I want to share with you guys. It's a personal story, and it's about setting goals, setting your dreams, following your passions, getting rid of toxic things in your life. And along the journey, you might have to discard, get rid of, or just have a falling out of some of your friends or family, coworkers, or whatever it may be. And it's a personal story of mine when I started the Operation Self Reset kind of podcast, video series, and blog and all that stuff. It's a very personal story, and I was actually apprehensive of sharing this with you guys at first. But I realized, though, that the more transparent I am, the more realistic and no fluff this podcast will have in your own personal life, because I really want you guys to strive in a direction and truly become better individuals. And the only way I can do that, besides sharing like facts and interesting stories from other people, is to share my own personal input and my own personal story. And that's why I want to share with you guys so much. And also too, it's kind of sad. This is a sad episode to me because it's really personal. And I guess I'm getting kind of down on myself a little bit because I really try to be upbeat and positive in these podcasts, but this story has affected me a lot, and I did a lot of thinking and a lot of analyzing, and it's easy for us to say, oh, just get over it, no problems, whatever. This is so funny of me. I'm telling you guys about a story. You don't even know what the story is, and I'm telling you the things that are upsetting me, and you're like, probably, Jake, just tell us the story so I can understand what the heck you're talking about. So before I get into the story itself, I want to say today's episode is sponsored by audibletrial.com/OSR. If you guys want a free audible book. See, I'm such a wreck right now, I can't even say it. So if you guys want a free audio book, head on over to audibletrial.com/OSR. You guys get a free audio book. And also, I get a little kickback from you guys signing up. If you guys would like to support the Operation Self Reset podcast and what it stands for, it would be greatly appreciated. All the money that I receive goes back into improving this podcast, spreading the word, and everything like that. So, all right, so let's dive into my own personal story. Like I said, it's more of a discovery. I call this podcast Change is Not Easy. And a couple of podcasts ago, I talked about getting over your own personal fears and discomfort of setting goals and reaching them, right? And it's easy to figure out, I don't want to say it's easy, but it's easier to figure out a plan of action, how to reach goals, how to set them, how to get them going, taking that first step, everything like that. But I want to tell you the cause and effect of setting these goals, of following your dreams, following your passions, getting rid of certain things in your own life. And this story begins with me realizing that there are three types of people when it comes to self-transformation, okay? There are three types of people that you are surrounded by right now. And if you decided to, for example, lose 100 pounds, change jobs, move to a different city, get rid of your current relationship, no matter what it may be, if you just want to become more spiritual or mentally sharp, there's the three people that surround us daily, okay? Number one, supportive people. Okay, these are the people that are mostly going to be your family, right? Your family will stand by you no matter what. Every person is unique. There's, some people have better relationships with family, some don't, but mostly the people that are going to be in your corner are family. They're always going to be supportive. They're always going to be saying, good job, you can do it, congratulations. The only downfall with supportive people is that they're not really going to give you true input on ways to improve. For example, with this podcast, my family is so supportive. They're like, oh, good for you, Jake. You're doing this, blah, blah, blah. But none of them say, hey, you know what? Instead of, talking into the microphone and just saying, and these pauses and you're stumbling, they just keep on telling me I'm doing a great job. They could be saying, Jake, you know what? It sounds really good, but here are a couple of ways to improve, A, B, C, D. But they don't, because they are the supportive people. They're always going to have my back. And that is why I have truly grown into enjoying my family more and more every single day, truly. Because when you start setting goals, you realize how these supportive people really do help you in the course of a new transformation, a new you. So, with supportive people out of the way, and before I move on to the next one, in supportive people, there might be a couple of friends that are in that supportive people group, right? They're the people that kind of are your good friends, and you really think that they are behind you, giving you their support. But in actuality, when push comes to shove, they might be rooting for you to fail. They might be rooting for you to not go through the projects or ideas or the goals in your own life. But they're going to be supportive on the outside, but on the inside, they're jealous. They're the type of people that want you to fail so you continue to be on their level. I've said this numerous times in different podcasts, and if you take the 5 closest people around you, you will have the average of those 5 people in salary. You're going to have the same hobbies as those 5 people. You're going to have the same type of lifestyle. You're going to be driving the same kind of car. You're going to be having the same kind of interests, whatever it may be. Those 5 people want you to stay in that group. And if you decide to elevate yourself, spiritually, mentally, physically, reach different goals in your life, they're not going to like that. But currently, they're going to be in your supportive group until, and I say until, you do show progress. So I'll touch more on that in a second. So I know that can get kind of complex. But the second group of people that surround you are the jealous people. And like I was just speaking of, the people that don't want you to improve. They don't want you to get that job raise. They don't want you to move cities for a better life. They don't want you to remove yourself from that toxic relationship because they might be stuck in one. They don't want you to, they don't want to see you going out all the time, meeting new interesting people, having fun again and all that stuff because their life might not be in a good spot. These are the people that we need to push out of our lives immediately. Now, within jealousy people, there's 2 types of people. There's people that we can identify them right away. We all know jealous people. We all know the coworker that comes by and go, "Oh, a new shirt. Oh, look at that new car. Oh, I heard you got a new TV." Those are just the people that we just deal with and push away and whatever. We don't care about them because they have no influence on our own life. But the second type of jealous people are the people that are in our supportive group. And on the outside, they are supportive. They want to be there rooting us on. But in actuality, they want us to fail. Now, is that really a supportive person if they're really on the inside going, fail, 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 fail. Yes, he failed. Ha ha ha. Perfect. Now he's back to hanging out with me, drinking at the local bar, talking about our problems. So again, my story relates to that type of person that is in your supportive group, but is actually jealous. And then the last group, the third group of people that surround us, are the people that just don't care. They really don't care if we succeed or fail, if we do great or we don't. They don't care if we find our passion or goals and desires. They don't care if you move cities, get a new job, get a job promotion. They really don't care. And the reason why they don't care is maybe because they have their own problems that they're trying to figure out. They have so much stuff going on in their own life that the last thing they want to do is worry about you. And those are the neutral people. Those are the people that you can just have general conversations with. You could even possibly bounce ideas off of them. And they don't care if you go and use that idea or if you fail on that idea or whatever. Those are just the miscellaneous passerbys in life. So those are the 3 types of people that I truly believe make up our surroundings when it comes to transforming, changing ourselves. So we have supportive, we have jealousy, and then we have the people that just don't care. And I want to speak about the people that are supportive but are jealous internally. And my story goes like this. So when I was growing up in high school, I met this guy named Joe. Joe and I were best friends all throughout high school, all throughout our mid-20s until the age of 26, when I truly, my story is the reason why I started Operation Self-Reset is because I knew there was something within and I didn't know how to find it. So I did a lot of soul searching. When I hit 26, that's when I started realizing a lot of things about me. I started reading different books. It gave me different ideas. I started going to conventions. I started inventing things. I started traveling around in search of businesses, meeting really cool, interesting people, people that were very successful, people that were not successful, all different walks of life. And I was having a great time. And Joe and I, up to that moment of my personal self-discovery, we're inseparable. We did everything together. We worked out daily. We hung out all the time. We went to restaurants. We went to movies. We traveled together. We hung out with different groups of friends. I mean, we were really living the lifestyle. Him and I got the same type of job. We both had a decent income. And at the time we were living at home. So I don't want to say we burned through our money, but we were just young guys with money, and we just decided to do our own thing, and we had a great time doing it. And I'm never going to take that part of my life away because I truly enjoyed the heck out of it. Joe and I were peas and carrots, flies and blank. I'm not going to say that because this is potentially a G-rated podcast, so I don't want to go there with the swear words. But when I started to do some self-discovery when I was 26, I did not tell Joe my goals and passion dreams. And I didn't tell him on my 26th birthday that I had a pain within me and I didn't know how to, solve it. So that's why I talked to my dad, and he said, Jake, go on out and discover your pain and all of that stuff. And that is really where one road decided to split into two. And I guess it was a little crappy of me not to fill Joe in on my own pains and sorrows and ambitions and passions and desires that I have for my own life. And as time continued, my girlfriend at the time became my wife. I recently just had a baby boy, but Joe kind of was still doing his thing, and I started doing my thing, but different. I didn't have the same interests anymore that he did. I was starting to go into different avenues and build websites and kind of do a lot of other things that Joe had no interest in. And I want to take a second here and say that throughout our relationships, I'm saying yours and mine, we will find people that we just click with, right? You're like, wow, this person just gets it. He's on the same page as me. And as the years and years continue, sometimes our paths in life separate, and that's okay. It really is okay. And it's no fault to his or mine or yours and your friends. It just happens. Life happens. Things change. You get different interests. And that's it. There's no tragic event. There's no cheating on each other, or there's no, crazy story that came of this that we were blown up at each other and so mad and angry that we never talked again. It was just life got in the way and we continued to live our own different lives. So where I'm going with this. So I started Operation Self Reset this past year, May 10th of 2013. And before May 10th of 2013, I already had the idea of starting a podcast. I had an idea of starting a blog and video series and all of that stuff well before this. And when I was trying to line up my ducks in order to get the ball rolling in this direction, I let a couple of people know about my idea, about this project. And Joe kind of knew. Joe always knew I was an active mind individual, so he wasn't shocked when I told him about this. And, he was supportive like anybody, hey, good, congratulations, hopefully it works out, blah, blah, blah. And a side note again, I'm not one, though, to just go out publicly and say, hey, everybody, look at me. I'm the guy that is starting a podcast. Listen to me. I have so much to say. No, it was more of, I only told a select few people because I haven't been around a lot. I have not been around a lot because my time has been occupied trying to figure out the plan of action and set up this project, Operation Self Reset. So when it came time to producing YouTube videos on my own personal story, it was tough for me to press the publish button because I knew friends and family and whoever else out there would find my project, would find my way of thinking, would find my ideas on life. And when Joe saw my video about me saying, hey, when I was 26, I had these difficulties, I did some soul searching, blah, 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 he was taken back from that because he did not know that at the age of 26, I was in a hurtful spot in my life. And he took offense to that. And he and I talked about it, and we got over it. And I said, you know what, I'm so sorry. It was just one of those things I just wanted to keep personally. And then we got into the whole thing, well, how are you able to pronounce this publicly, but you can't even tell your best friend, which in my case was Joe. And I said, I don't know. I think it was just insecurities. I knew you didn't really care. I know you're not interested in this, blah, blah, blah. life continued. We kind of continued to go down our own separate paths. Our relationship, kind of separated even more. And it wasn't until recently, him and I are in a fantasy football league, and him and I we had a little falling out. We were arguing about a couple of things that happened in fantasy football that we both did not agree upon, and it kind of opened up a new gate of problems. Which in the long run, as I look back, which was good. It was good for us to talk out our issues and problems, but early on, it was more of shots back and forth, and it was an unhealthy relationship. So our time continued, and we continued to just not be good friends. And one day we decided to sit down and kind of just resolve our problems, just to get over it. I guess that's the cool thing about being a guy more as a girl. Girls will hold it in, they'll be fake around each other majority of the time, and you might be one that is able to be openly talk about your issues and problems. But personally, for guys, mostly, we're able to just kind of talk about our problems and get over it. Well, Joe kind of called me out on a couple of things that really hurt me, and he said, Jake, I know that you are an active individual. I know you're always looking for the next best thing. I know you're looking for the next great invention. I know you're searching around and going to here and there and talking and meeting to interesting people. I get that about you. But why can't you just be satisfied in your own life? Why can't you just be happy in your own personal life? Why do you feel you need to go up and beyond where you're currently at in your own life? You have a great wife, you have a great child, you have a good house, everything around you is going good. You have a great family support system, a good job. Why do you feel that you need to continue to keep searching for something better? And, when he said that to me, I was very defensive. Of course, I was very defensive at that at first. But, it really gave me insight on who I truly am, because sometimes we get caught up in our own lives and we're unsure of, we're really unsure of what we're doing until somebody calls us out on it. And when Joe called me out on that, I was taken back. I was really offensive. Like, what do you mean, man? Like, I'm not doing this because I'm trying to improve myself better or to become a billionaire. I just know that I have things to share and I'm just an active mind individual and I want to get out there and do it. As opposed to talk about it and sit back and say, wow, I wish I could or I should, I decide to act on things. And that's one thing I truly found out about myself is I'm a guy that acts on things. If I have an idea, I'm going to act on it. If I have a creative objective, if I want to start a podcast, for example, I'm going to do it. And the second thing that he said that really threw me off, and this is where I talk about the three people that surround you: supportive people, jealous people, and the people that just don't care. And how I spoke of how there's the people that are supportive, but actually they're jealous. Joe said to me, he goes, why are you doing this Operation Self Reset podcast thing? Do you want to become better than me? Are you trying to become better than your friends? And that's when it hit me like, my gosh, he's a jealous individual. He is a person that believes that I'm trying to do this project, give you guys information and resources and interview other people because I want to become better than him or the other friends that are in my group. And at first it didn't hurt me at all. And again, I kind of blew it off and I kind of gave him my reasoning. And it was just, no, man, this is who I am. I'm just a unique individual that decides to take action on things. And I don't want to say I blew it off, but we talked about it. And we kind of settled our differences and all the other problems came out and there's more issues and stuff like that I don't want to get into because those weren't as powerful as the last two comments that he said. It really kind of threw me off. It kind of threw me off my game a little bit. And at first I was very comfortable with just being like, that's who I am. No problem. Moving on, podcast, continuing with all this stuff. No problem. But as I sit back and stop and think, it kind of makes me mad a little bit. This is a guy that I spent every waking day with from 17 years old until I was 26. That's a long time. That's 9 years of hanging out with this guy, doing everything. And yes, did I not share all of my personal insights and my personal ambitions in life and personal things when it came to bettering myself? True, I did not. And maybe I should have. Maybe I should have let him in on the loop. Let him truly know who Jake Naraki is. But I guess I felt like I didn't want to because I felt I was unique. I was different. And I know you guys listening out there too, the reason why we hold back a lot of things in our own personal life is because it's different. You quitting your job, you getting out of that relationship, you wanting to follow your passion and dream is different. And different is not easy to deal with personally. It sometimes takes time for us to really gather up the courage to take action on it. When I look back in my own personal life, I think to myself, wow, he was in the supportive category, but I realize that he's in the jealous category. And it's funny because I don't want to say jealous, and maybe that's a very hard word, but it's not jealousy. He's just a person that's comfortable with his own personal life. And he just sees me trying to expand it tenfold. And I want to relate this story to you guys. And that's pretty much the end of my personal story. Obviously, there was conclusions and we talked more and all that stuff. And I'm not going to get into that because it doesn't relate to you. But the two questions that he asked me is, why do you want to become better than me? Is really a tough pill to swallow. And you're going to find when you decide to take action on your goals, dreams, ambitions, and figuring out your true self, there's people that are going to be rooting against you. There's going to be people that want you to fail. There's going to be people that you think are in your corner, but they're actually not. They actually don't want you to do anything with your life. And if you could talk back to me, I ask you this, do you want those people in your support group? Of course not. Why would you? These people are useless. They're taking up space. They're distracting you from your ultimate vision. And when I sit on here and I say, I want to become a motivational speaker and I want to achieve my goal of traveling around and helping people improve their lives, I'm saying that from my heart. I'm saying that from the truth. I'm not saying it because I know somebody wants me to say it. I'm saying it because I truly have that desire. I have a full-time job. I have a family to support. I have a lot of things going on, but that doesn't mean I need to just focus on my current life. You listening, you have ambitions. You have personal desires that you want to do. Do them. Take action on it. Life is too short to get caught up in the different category. Just because you're different doesn't mean that you can't take action. There's people that are going to question you. There's people that are going to be rooting against you. There's going to be people that you think are your best friends, the best people, the best support group you've ever had in your life. And sure enough, they're going to turn against you once you find a smidge, a sunlight ray of success. They're going to come down on you and they're going to question you and they're going to be like, why are you doing this? Why, Susie, why are you losing all that weight? What, you're not happy with your body? You're not happy who you are? Why are you getting that job promotion? Why? You're not going to be able to hang out with us in our cafeteria anymore. We're not going to be able to talk gossip about the upper management if you become a supervisor now. These are the things that we think about when we decide to take action in our life. And I know you thought of those things too, no matter what it is. We're always trying to do the best for ourselves, but in the process, we're always thinking about what others are thinking or saying about us. I guess the moral of the story is to live your life, to live your own personal life, your own personal journey and path. I keep saying this over and over again, and we all know life is short. And another real reason why I started this podcast is because I hate when people say, when you have a kid, your life is over. Truly, it takes up more time than you think having a child, for sure. And, I tip my hat off to people that have, 2+ kids. 2 to 20 kids, whatever it may be. But that does not stop your personal intuition of believing in yourself and wanting to take action. I had a woman recently email me and she said, you know what, Jake, I love your podcast. I love the inspiration you give me. But you know what? I have 3 children. They're all at home still. They're active in high school sports and activities. I have a desire for a book that I want to write, but I don't have time. I don't have the time to set aside because I'm always dealing with my kids. I'm telling them to deal with some of their own problems, so I have time to myself. What do? I need help. And the one thing I said to her, and we've all heard this before, if there's a will, there's a way. If you truly want something bad enough, if you truly have that desire and passion and you know what it is that you want, it's not a question of, do I really want to start a podcast? Do I really want to start that bakery? If you truly go, I want to start that bakery, you will do whatever it is in your own power to get it done. You're going to do your research at 2 o'clock in the morning if you have to. If you want to write that book, you're going to wake up a half an hour early and type for half an hour every single day until that book is completed. Is it going to take a long time? Yes. Are you going to be able to have your 8-hour day of just typing to yourself when you have 4 kids running around with activities and all that crazy stuff? No, you're not. So you need to set aside time for your own personal self. And I keep on going with the emails that I keep getting from people, and maybe I should start sharing some of the questions that you guys have for me, because there is a lot of value in them. And a lot of people are going through the same difficulties and the same problems and always asking me the same questions always, time and time again. But I wanted to really get this podcast out there about, change is not easy. It's truly not. There's going to be people that are supportive, and there's going to be people that are in that mix of they're supportive now, but once you find success, once you take action, once you really find what you're looking for, and you want to take those goals, dreams, ambitions, and make them real, they're going to become jealous. And those jealous people, you're going to have to push to the side. You're going to have to say, you know what? You're right. Maybe I do want to become better than you. That's my ultimate goal. I was thinking about that too. Maybe I should have told him, Joe, you're right. Maybe my ultimate goal is just to be better than you, to live my life 1,000 billion times better than you. And I'm laughing to myself because that's not true. I don't care if I'm better than him. I don't care. I mean, I do and I don't care if this podcast, becomes big or not or whatever. I just care that I'm taking action and I'm following my dream. My dream is a public speaker. My dream's not to get 1 billion people to listen to my podcast. Podcasting is an avenue and a step towards my ultimate goal. So truly, what is your goal? What's your dream and ambition? What are the steps leading up to it? That is the question I have for you. Change is not easy. And if you have a story, if you have, you found your goal and passion in life, and you realize that there were people that were supportive and then they turned jealous, honestly, I would love to hear your story. I would actually like to get you on the podcast. And I truly mean that. If you have a story where you changed jobs or you got a promotion and you had to, I don't want to say ditch, but move away from people that were not supportive of you and your ideas and your way of life, I would like to hear that, because I think a lot of people can get value in that. Like I said, the 2 things that really hold us back from taking action is figuring out what we want and what other people are going to say about us. But once you figure out those 3 people, those 3 different categories of people, I should say, in our life, we have supportive, the people that don't care, and the people that are just jealous. Once you figure that out, and once you start talking to these people and you start thinking of the people that surround you and you start putting them in different categories, you start to get clarity on the people that you want around you. And the people you want around you are the ones that are going to be supportive, the ones that are in your corner, giving you the support, talking about it, asking about it, keeping you focused and motivated. The last thing you want to do is talk to those jealous people, because they're going to tear you down. They're going to question why you're doing things. They're going to question why you want to become better. And at the end of the day, no matter what, throughout it all, throughout everything, you need to be happy about you. That's it. If you're happy with yourself, if you're happy with your ideas, if you're happy with, even if you are happy with just being who you are right now, if you don't have those dreams or ambitions or passions or goals or whatever, truly, if you're happy in your own space and you're just listening to this because you just enjoy the way I talk or just the feeling you get when you hear my voice, whatever it is, and you're just happy with your position in life currently, that is fine. Truly, that is awesome. That's so rewarding. Congratulations for reaching that point. And I'm not taking that away from anybody, but if you truly want more in life, you're going to have to push those jealous people to the side and carry on. Carry on with what you are meant to do in your life. I don't know what it is. I would love to hear it. And if you guys have questions for me about this podcast, if you have a story you would love to share, if it's a long story, short story, 2 sentences, whatever, please email me, support@operationselfreset.com. And also to head on over to operationselfreset.com to find this podcast and leave a comment below. I truly believe we can all hear and understand those stories that give us a little headache every once in a while, but how we overcome it is truly amazing. So, like always, guys, thank you so much for your time. And in the next following podcast, I have an individual that talks about health because 2014 is right around the corner and everybody is trying to slim down after the holiday season. His name is Jordan Ponder, great guy, personal friend. Happy to have him on the podcast. And if you guys would like to leave a review for Operation Self Reset Podcast, head on over to osrpodcast.com. I have a free gift for you guys if you subscribe and leave a review on iTunes. That's osrpodcast.com. There is a free gift waiting for you if you leave a review on iTunes. Thank you again so much. I'm sorry this was a kind of a very sensitive, subtle, serious episode. But sometimes we need that. Sometimes we need to understand the people that surround us because those are the people that we're always thinking of. Those are the people that really make or break us in our life. And I don't want to say break us, but they're the ones that challenge us and they distract us, I guess, from our ultimate goal. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys enjoy this podcast. Again, take action in the direction that you want. Take one step. And if you reach success from that step, keep on stepping forward, truly. There's always going to be people that are going to not enjoy you. There's people that have left some pretty bad reviews on iTunes for me. And that's okay, because I know I am not liked by everybody. We truly, all of us probably strive to be liked by everybody, but sometimes we're not. So, you know what? That's just the way it goes. That's how the cookie crumbles, per se. So, guys, keep on trucking ahead. Keep on reaching towards those goals. Believe in yourself. Nothing else. Believe in yourself. Tell yourself daily, I can do this. I can complete this. I want better for myself. Whatever in any aspect of life. I thank you for your time, and we will see you in the next episode.